to admit, some expectations of readers and writers on Twitter do give me an interesting springboard to look at. But when some certain things popped up about Lord of the Rings, it's like, I want to dive into that a little bit. So basically, here, let me see if I can link the proper. Okay, here's the proper thread for the initial context. Mr. Johnson was stating that the king was so impressive, so legendary, that an elf princess gave up her immortality in order to be his wife. Imagine being so repugnant that you pretend such a vision becomes grotesque to you. And I've noticed that with a lot of the modern, like, era entertainment, where someone who wants to be a genuinely good husband or somebody who wants to be a genuinely good wife in entertainment, that is so far frowned upon that it's like a big event horizon where it's like everything gets sucked in. It's like, oh no, you're supporting the exisms, and I'm like, what? I find that I'm gravitating towards stuff that gives that kind of feeling again, because at least those books understood what like genuine optimism, hope, and other things were like. It's not a bad thing to have characters that are in a stable relationship. It's not a bad thing to have a husband and wife that support each other. Because again, with Uplift Protocol, I have Thomas and Gino are basically the big old springboard for that. Do they always agree on everything? No. But the thing is, some stuff I just don't put on screen. I just implement it through some of their actions. Yeah. It is definitely saying something that Arwen gave up her immortality. Like all this mysticism and inherent power of the elves, she's like, no, I want to be here with Aragorn. Even to the point where she does, basically, I'm like, I'm sorry, Dad, I'm going to have to support my future husbando in this. You know, because sometimes it's also, I guess, a little bit of a theme of like you're breaking away from your family, not like permanently, but you want to create your own family. So that requires the husband, wife, and the kids. Like if you're going about things in a natural way and it's not in like a futuristic setting where, kind of like Harrington, where you can, tube the babies and have them grow in artificial womb and everything. Uh, but yeah, it's like, geez, what's so bad about having a genuinely caring spouse? And the other guy he's getting into a fight with in this thread, Leo, goes solo against the Nine to defend the ring bearer. That wasn't in the books. They gave Arwen in the movie some parts of other characters to so because she most of her stuff was in the appendix section in the back explaining what she was doing while the main quest was going on. She wasn't sitting there being like useless. And every hero or heroine or whatever has to have something to come back home to, like a place where they can truly be at rest. And there's books that have women where they have a husband waiting at home for them. There have been books like that, but also that seems to be kind of frowned upon too. And it's like, what's so bad about having your spouse be the thing that keeps you going? It's the reason why White Lily and the Golden Bull here are like that too. They're a team. I mean, I have a lot of stuff going on in the serial, so that's the reason why I haven't gotten back to some stuff yet, but I'm just setting it up to where you'll just see this stuff keep growing. But I also don't put every little single aspect of these characters' lives onto the page. I mostly put stuff in there that will showcase where like the storyline is going and things like that. Um, there might be some side stories later, but for right now, I just want to mostly concentrate on getting the main thing out. And it's like, yeah, a lot of older stories that I do like, they do have couples that understand each other and lift each other up. That is not a bad thing. Man. But to follow the rest of what this other person's saying, wrecks them all by involving the wrath of Sullivan at Brunnen. I'm probably I honestly, Tolkien fans, I mess it up the English language. I mess up fake language too. Convinces Elisar to take up Arundel and reclaim the throne of Gondor just a prize. Again, the movies took stuff, even little aspects from the back of the book with the appendices and then put them into the movie to give Arwen more of an on-screen presence for the actual ring quest in and of itself. Even though that wasn't, the exact same for the books. I think that's the main reason why they cut out Tom Bombadil, which, that was a fun portion to me. But that's just me. But since he wasn't like extremely directly related to the One Ring War and everything else, I guess Peter Jackson and crew decided to cut him out. But he was the reason why the hobbits got those swords and some of those swords in the first place from was it the Wraith Mounds? I have to reread again just to remember some stuff. But also Tom Bombadil's wife was a rather cheery soul. It was to showcase a little bit of light before the ring wraiths came down upon their head with that serious chase element. So, and even the movies had to change the sacking of the Shire. That wasn't shown on screen as much. It was alluded to in the movie via Galadriel's seeing pool there, but yeah. It's just I guess it's just also just a case of like just how much entertainment is pushing away from certain kinds of themes to supplant them with other kinds of themes. So we all have to basically put our money where our mouth is and start creating and everything else, because otherwise we're not going to see the wheelhouses we want to see. Have a good day, everybody.